January 5th, 2026 was the day the British government erased the childhood millions grew up with. Overnight, your favourite cereal mascots, fast food jingles, and Saturday morning cravings became legally forbidden. On television, online, and everywhere children see them. Officials say it is about health, but what really got banned was a shared past. That leaves a £1 billion question. Why did Britain outlaw nostalgia itself? January the 5th, 2026, brought a line in the sand for British advertising. From that day, any advert for food high in fat, salt or sugar became illegal to broadcast on TV before 9 p.m. That means no sugary cereal mascots, no chocolate bar jingles, no fast food deals during daytime or early evening. The law does not stop at television. For the first time, all paid online advertising for these products is banned around the clock. Instagram, YouTube, pre-rolls, sponsored TikTok dances, even paid search results on Google. If it is an advert for a high-fat, salt and sugar product, it is blocked, no matter the hour, no matter the audience. The definition covers a wide sweep: confectionery, crisps, ice cream, sweetened cereals, sugary drinks and fast food chains. The rules apply to anything the government classifies as high in fat, salt or sugar, according to a strict nutrient profiling model. That means the familiar faces and voices that once filled the gaps between children's shows or popped up in their social feeds are now off limits by law. The government's aim is direct. According to official estimates, these restrictions will remove 7.2 billion calories from children's diets each year. Ministers project 20,000 fewer cases of childhood obesity and £2 billion in long-term health savings. Health Minister Ashley Dalton described the move as making the healthy choice the easy choice for parents and children, framing it as a step toward prevention rather than treatment. The ban is also part of a broader health plan, with the government promising to raise the healthiest generation of children the country has ever seen. The new rules carry real weight. Paid ads for high-fat, salt and sugar products have vanished from the screens and feeds that children use most. For advertisers, the message is clear. Break the rules, and Ofcom can impose fines of up to £18 million, or 10% of global revenue. The policy draws a clear boundary. What was once a normal part of growing up in Britain is now a legal line that brands and broadcasters cannot cross. For decades, British childhood was shaped by the sound and colour of food adverts that did more than sell products. They stitched themselves into memory. Tony the Tiger's voice rolled into Saturday cartoons with the cheerful line there, "Great." And it was not just a sales pitch. It was a signal that the weekend had begun. The Cadbury Caramel Bunny, with her slow, honeyed drawl, became a character as familiar as any from a bedtime story. The Milky Bar Kid, a pint-sized cowboy, rode into living rooms with a white chocolate promise and a jingle that stuck for years. And the Honey Monster, larger than life and impossible to ignore, turned sugar puffs into something more than breakfast, a badge of childhood belonging. These adverts did not simply fill the space between programs. They created a world where brands had personalities, where cereal boxes and chocolate bars became friends, and where the simple act of pouring milk over Frosties carried the echo of a jingle. The psychology behind it was deliberate. Catchy tunes, bright colours, and cartoon mascots designed to anchor themselves in young minds. Studies have shown that jingles and characters are stored in emotional memory, making them almost impossible to forget. For many, hearing those melodies today can trigger a rush of nostalgia as vivid as any old photograph. This was not accidental. Advertisers targeted children with stories and mascots, knowing that brand preference could be set before a child's 10th birthday. The term pester power entered the language for a reason. Kids, fueled by these adverts, begged for Frosties or Milky Bars in the supermarket aisle. The result was more than increased sales. It was a sense of shared experience, a cultural shorthand. Even now, adults can recite slogans or hum tunes they have not heard in years, proof of how deeply these campaigns reached. With the ban, that entire layer of cultural memory is being erased from the present. The adverts that once united generations, over breakfast, in the back seat, on the living room floor, are now silent. The familiar faces and voices that shape taste and imagination have been switched off, leaving a quiet that feels strangely personal. Childhood is still here, but something unmistakable has gone missing. Obesity in Britain is no longer a distant threat. It is a reality in nearly every classroom. More than 1 in 5 children in England are already overweight or obese by the time they start primary school. By the end of Year 6, that number climbs to over a third. Tooth decay has become the leading cause of hospital admission for children aged 5 to 9, a fact that rarely makes headlines but fills waiting rooms across the country. Researchers have tracked the effects of food advertising on children for years. In one study, just 5 minutes of junk food adverts led children to eat significantly more calories at their next meal. The link is not just about what kids see, but when they see it. Exposure at a young age shapes preferences that can last a lifetime. Children under 12 struggle to recognise the difference between entertainment and advertising, making them especially vulnerable to marketing tactics. Public health groups have watched these numbers rise for decades. Diabetes UK calls the new restrictions a key step in protecting children, after years of warning that constant exposure to unhealthy food adverts increases the risk of type 2 diabetes and other chronic illnesses. The organisation describes the ban as a way to stop children and young people from being bombarded by unhealthy food adverts everywhere they turn. Behind the nostalgia and jingles, there is a direct line from advertising to what children eat, and from what they eat to the health problems they carry into adulthood. The government's projections, 20,000 fewer cases of childhood obesity and £2 billion saved, are not abstract targets. They are attempts to reverse a pattern that has played out in every family, every school, every community. The hope is that by breaking the cycle of exposure, the country can finally slow the rise of preventable disease. But as the law takes effect, questions remain about where the line is drawn and who is left just outside it. Brand logos still beam from bus shelters and football kits. The law that silenced Tony the Tiger before 9 p.m. leaves McDonald's arches glowing on billboards outside schools. No Big Mac, no fries, just the brand. Perfectly legal. Outdoor advertising, from city buses to motorway posters, is not touched by the ban. Fast food and confectionery companies have funneled millions into these spaces since the first whispers of new rules. Industry analysis shows a 28% jump in outdoor ad spending between 2021 and 2024, as budgets shifted from banned television and digital slots to the streets. The Advertising Association, after years of fighting the legislation, now points to their compliance. But behind closed doors, they warned councils that up to 30% of local ad revenue could vanish if outdoor ads were ever restricted. Sports sponsorships are untouched too. Stadiums and kits still carry the same brands that cannot appear on children's screens. A Premier League match can run for 90 minutes with a fast food logo in every wide shot, even as those products disappear from television breaks. Small and medium-sized businesses, meanwhile, are exempt from the rules entirely. Local burger joints and sweet shops can still run online ads, as long as they stay under the government's radar. Sponsorship remains a major escape route. Ofcom now holds the stick, with fines up to £18 million, or 10% of a company's global revenue for those who cross the line. But the line is jagged. Enforcement depends on complaints and monitoring, not blanket surveillance. Youth campaigners like Bite Back 2030 call the ban an important first step, but warn it is not enough. Their statement puts it bluntly: this cannot be the end. The wallpaper of junk food advertising has not vanished, it has just moved. The pressure is already building for tougher rules, with health groups pushing for outdoor and sponsorship bans next. The fight over what children see is not finished. It is only getting louder. Today, British children grow up in a world where algorithms, not cartoon mascots, shape their cravings. The line between protection and erasure blurs as nostalgia becomes a casualty of public health. What we ban now may define not just diets, but the memories a generation never forms.